So 3 things that I learned when I was at Reebok that were the most important things were, I think one is know what you're good at. When I was at Reebok, we were fighting in the sport industry to chase after a male business model, chase after men's sport like basketball. Yet in the 80s, Reebok was number 1 in women's fitness. They started the step aerobics, they started other fitness trends. We went back to that DNA to say, well, what's really important and what are we known for as a brand, and use that to say, well, listen, maybe we don't belong in sport. Maybe that we should be a fitness brand, and that's because the brand had DNA that was important and successful in that. And then we moved into the CrossFit area. So the brand today is a fitness brand, and we gave up all of that area. I think the number 2 thing is aligned to that is make sure that you're not afraid to give up and change your business model. And by that I mean, if you look at Netflix had a business model that distributed DVDs to everybody's house. They realized that streaming was the next way to go, and they gave up their business model. When we were at Reebok, we were the same thing. We were partnered with the National Football League, American football. It's the number 1 league in America. We gave that up to be a fitness brand. And people were really concerned giving up the number 1 thing that we had. But we had to realize that we had to be true to ourselves, and to be a fitness brand, we had to give up some certain things and change our business model to do that. And I think the third thing is be patient. And that sounds cliched, but when you change your brand that dramatically, it's not going to happen overnight. Well, the thing that has changed most is we speak to customers 24 hours a day. We know that customers leave the office sometimes 7 or 8 at night and are getting messages from us on the bus and on the train on the way home. We know that customers are plugged into us, right before they go to bed at 11:30 at night. So it's a 24-hour conversation. It's not just bits of TV time and day parts we used to have. The day parts are all parts. So the difference is, there's very tactical differences with rights to privacy in the different European markets. Even within the EU, there are many different privacy parts that we have to work through. And then I'd also say that there's a split, which we don't have in the United States. There's also a split between developing markets and markets that are more saturated and evolved in Europe. For example, delivery methods. How can we ship? Is there a threat to losing packages on somebody's doorstep and things like that? So the marketplaces are different based on that. But at the end of the day, all people want convenience. They want it to be easily to be able to shop online. I think to realize that it's not just one thing. That we've always talked about integrated marketing, that different points of contact with your customer are so important, rather than, oh, this email is going to save our business, or this tweet is going to save the day. And the fact of the matter is, it's not just one thing, it's all these things working together, new and old media together. Well, I think omnichannel is false. I don't think consumers think in omnichannel. They go fluidly from online, offline. Their life is omnichannel. And I think people want to split it up and talk about channels as if they were individual areas, but customers just want a seamless experience. So if you look at Apple feels that they educate all of their consumers to the way they do business. And they've done a great job at that. Not everybody can do that. And I think what you have to decide is, you have to decide whether customers are coming along to your innovation or they're not. When you reframe or create a new lexicon, if customers aren't adopting that, then it's a failure. Move on and move on quickly. Well, I'd say a couple times we've been too early. As a media person, I come from a media background, and you want to adopt and really come in early. I was early on Twitter, and I was too early on Twitter where we couldn't monetize it, you know? So like I was talking about Snapchat earlier, it's a great thing. It shows brand innovation, but we don't really know what to do with it yet.